Hey guys, today's story is about that guy named John. So a little backstory before I start. I am, by no means, a veteran of role-playing D&D encounters. I can also say that I am no pushover when it comes to bad players, especially new people in my group. I normally play many games with the guys on the weekend, and this can go anywhere from Call of Duty to Uno. Our game range is wide, and needless to say, we have had our encounters with the metaphorical saints and demons. We were playing Call of Duty one night, and met a saint of a gamer, and for story's sake, we'll call him Max. He's an awesome guy who has introduced my friend group and I to many games, whether it be new playstyles, or a new game altogether, or even just a way to make a boring game fun. All in all, he's a good guy. He's also the one who introduced us to D&D, and with all of us not living close to each other, we had to come to terms using an online client, which basically helped us play. He was the DM, and being that it was our first time, we wanted to make it good. So we asked him to make the quest we ran very special and very inviting. He delivered on his part, and for the most part, excluding the POS that we had to play with, we had lots of fun. And for maximum fun, Max advised us that if we wanted a real challenge, that we should have other characters made, because he was going to challenge us, with him stating that there would be no saving graces, and if anyone died, they died. But we all agreed to the terms, and we played. Now, I'm not going to be the one to call out anyone, but if the guy involved reads this, he'll know that I'm talking about him. Now with that said, I'll make the names vague. Of course, there was Max, who was a total saint when it came to any game. Alex, who was a good friend of mine from back home. James, who was genuine and a chill dude. Ben, who was someone who we met online and had gotten to know better over the years. Mark, who is probably the sweatiest gamer I've ever known, but in a good way. Myself, of course. And then John. No one likes John, and you'll see why. In all fairness, when we were making our characters, we could have been a little bit more serious, but instead, being a couple of goofy idiots, we decided to make everything in that part a total joke. Describing our characters was probably the funniest thing that we had ever done in our group, just for the sheer fact that it was completely out of the water and unexpected. I only remember about 3 or 4 of the characters because they were very memorable. James had rolled up some sort of fire mage. Mark had basically made a tank of an orc fighter named Plopstrickle, who was banished from his small village for attempting to overthrow his village elder. Ben was playing an elf thief who knew his way around any lock and was supposedly the wisest of all of us, but only at the most unneeded of times. I was playing a rogue goblin named Flibble, who was also banished from his small village because he refused to change his ways, to one day lead the tribe to greatness. And then, of course, John, who made a character that stopped all laughter right on the spot. He was a barbarian, I think, I can't honestly remember, but he made some groaner of a backstory saying that he was a hero in the eyes of the people and blah blah blah, sent to destroy a mythical black dragon, and how he will cut down anyone who dares to get in his way. And he only said this because in the real world, he couldn't do that to any of us, even if we let him. And so, our story began in the middle of a busy city. In the local and well-known Silverwood Tavern, all of us were responding to an ad posted on the town message board for a quest to solve a problem a neighboring town was having. The quest was to figure out why a small town had reports of people falling asleep and never waking up. We were also told that there were reports of horrible nightmares that these same people would have 3 days before they never woke up. Those who were asleep weren't exactly dead, they were just lifeless and cold to the touch. However, they were still breathing. The town's mayor promised a heavier reward, plus a favor to any party that solved their horrific problem. And of course, it was my ragtag group of idiots that happened to just accept this quest. For some, we did it for redemption, others, glory. For John, it was to be a complete jerk. And it wasn't like it was for him getting back at us, because there was no revenge to be had between anyone. But instead, he did it just for the sake of it, because he wanted to play God and control the game. And every chance he had, he would include himself. After accepting the quest, we were basically briefed by the captain of the guard. He told us of the terrible plague of endless rest that had sickened their lands. And towards the end, it went from serious to more sentimental. The captain had actually dropped down to his knees in tears, begging us to save his wife and daughter who lived in the same town. And then, in came John. Using the distraction of the captain crying and begging, he tried to go around our group and steal our weapons. And this was the only time that he was actually able to roll anything good, and he managed to steal all of our weapons and even the gold off of James. Of course, we didn't know until later because we weren't aware of it, as he had sent the DM a message on Discord. But before we left, we decided we would get some refreshments and gather information from the patrons in the bar, and only if the villagers were super duper drunk, we stole from them. We found out from talking to the people inside the tavern, and also from a letter inside one of the extremely drunk guy's pockets, that the neighboring town was under some sort of curse. The mayor of the neighboring town had sent the letter to the drunk man basically saying that he messed up big, with the letter reading as such. "Dear Nathan, I'm not sure how to explain my mistakes or offer any explanation as to why I did what I did, but I've made a horrible mistake. There was a party of adventurers that came into town, and they were seeking a place to lay low and hide while something died down. They offered me gold and treasures beyond my wildest dreams, and it didn't seem like a bad deal. However, in exchange for the riches, I would have to give up my rule to the land. I denied their requests and banished them for what I thought was treason, and before they were forced out, a hooded man that was with them cast a spell and said that I should have accepted their offer. If they couldn't be handed the town, then they would be taking it. It is in your best interest to not return for the time being. I hope this letter finds you fast. With kind regards, your brother." And, with the end of the letter, we were ready to set off on our new adventure. The next morning, we left the town and started our journey. As we were on the path that led to the town, we came across a group of dirty and, in very bad shape, townsfolk from where we were heading. In total, there were 8 of them. 3 guards, a father, a mother, 2 children, and a baby. The mother looking the most bedraggled out of all of them, and the father warned us to stay away from the town because whoever entered it surely would not be coming out. He then explained that the baby the mother was carrying was a victim of the spell cast on the town, and he feared that, with the dream that she had the other night, that she would be next. He then went on to tell us that on the path they took to get out of town, that there was a group of corrupt goblins that stole everything from the family and the guards, beating all of them within inches of their lives. But before he could finish, John made the decision that the father was lying to us and attempted to cut him down. Thankfully, he rolled really low and missed. We all had a roll to hold him down to help the family and the guards get away. And when they were out of sight, we let him go, and then he attempted to strike us down for getting in his way. Again he rolled low and eventually gave up, blaming that it was the dice that made him look weak. At this point, we were upset with the stunt that he tried to pull, and we told him to knock it off. We then continued the story, and decided to make our way to the goblins that beat up the poor family. But if you remember, John took all of our weapons, and he never gave them back. So when we approached the goblins to fight them, we very quickly noticed. As you get closer to the fork in the road, you'll notice a group of goblins. It seems that they have spotted you and are preparing to fight. What do you do? I draw my staff and prepare to cast a firebolt in their direction, as a warning shot. You reach for your staff and you notice it's gone. I pull out my short sword and prepare to defend. You reach for your short sword and you can't find it. What? Where did it go? Don't worry, I got this. I pull out my great sword and charge at the goblins. Roll for athletics. I rolled a 1. Okay, you trip and fall, and as you fall your pack falls, releasing everything you stole from your party. So great. The first fight of our adventure, we were going to die in because this idiot stole our stuff. You could feel the frustration through the computers. Ben had his character scream death threats at John, and this is where we should have killed the low-level goblins, and John's character, and just kicked him from our group. but we gave him yet another chance. And with that final chance, he really pissed us off. It was a hard fight with the goblins because they had our weapons and they guarded them. So basically we had to push past them, get our weapons, and then finish them off one by one. And with my character having almost died from the easiest fight we have encountered, we then explained to John that if he ever did anything like that again, we would cut him down where he stood. And the next hour or so of gameplay was awesome. One of the goblins from the first fight managed to escape and we tracked him down to a small cave, and we killed every goblin that came at us in an epic fashion, and we all gained enough experience to level up. And with the new skills we got, it made everything a little easier as we all chose ranged weapons and attacks for our new skills. I myself found me a decent bow and some throwing axes. The only person to not benefit from our cave side mission was John, who ended up getting stuck in a trap, which we forgot to free him from, so he got pretty salty about that. But word of the wise, don't steal from your teammates, and they might not forget to help you. So that was his punishment, as well as getting no new loot from our side quest. So we left the cave, and we saw it was night, so we decided to set up camp. And for protection, we took shifts staying awake. 2 members of the party would keep watch as the others slept. Sadly, that night was the end of our adventure. As you see, Alex and John had the second watch. And John insisted that Alex got some sleep, and that he was a great warrior, so he would stay up and keep watch. Oh, how nice. Yeah, just alert all of us if you hear or see something. So finally, this guy came to his senses and he's starting to play right. Right? Wrong. John waited for everyone to sleep, and one by one stole from us and killed us in our sleep. And again, we didn't find out until the act was finished, because he had sent Max a message on Discord. The sun rises and a new day begins. John, what do you do? Wait, it's already morning? John, what do you do? I rise and continue on the path. Wait, you're leaving us? Wake us up at least. Sadly, you can't wake a dead person. I'm sorry, what? John had all of you killed while you slept. Would you like to make new characters and continue? Needless to say, it was a hard no from all of us, and one by one we left the call. We all then received messages from John demanding that we play the game and make new characters. He resorted to spamming all of us, which resulted in him getting booted from the group. I really wish we finished the quest, but we never picked it up because of John. And to this day, we still get messages. And you're probably thinking, just block him. Which, yeah, we tried. He just makes new accounts and spams us. He even goes so far as to call our phone numbers. We just can't get rid of this guy. But I will admit, though, playing that little bit had us all hooked, and we have played many other adventures and quests. What made it playable, though, is that we played without John. And if you made it this far, I'd like to thank you. I wish I could tell more of a story, but after we were all killed in our sleep, we just never got around to finishing it. Well guys, first off, no matter how good of a person or a DM that Max actually is, he had a failing in not getting rid of this guy, or at least retconning some of the stupid crap he did. I understand that he had said that there would be no second chances or anything, but when you have a player that's purposely working against the party, it's not going to be fun for anyone except for the jerk. Secondly, if it is actually true on how bad this guy is actually and is constantly harassing them, then it might be something that they could very well call the police over. But in any case guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have a story that you would like me to narrate, let me know. And if you want to chat and hang out with other people, I have a Discord link in the description. And as always, have a good one.